There once was a man named Gold Roger, who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Hoop, coming at you from, I wish I was back in Texas, or from the Nintendo video game console. That's right, folks. We're here to talk about X-Men 97 episode 4. That's right, the hit sequel series to X-Men. The animated series is on their 4th episode, and we here at the Yonko table are here to dissect it, deep dive it, get in tune with our X-Men and Mutant Blood, and talk about this episode. With me, as always, is fellow Yonko, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney, when's the last time you booted up your Nintendo?
My Nintendo. My last Nintendo system was a Wii.
No, I said Nintendo.
Non-existent. Don't have it. Although, fun fact, that Nintendo is a direct reference to the Sega Genesis X-Men game from back then. Same cover and everything.
I thought it was probably referring to a specific game or console. I wasn't sure, but that's what Dr. Jace is for. He's the resident video game guy.
That's
so
me.
Thank you, Dr. Jace. With that said, however, this episode of X-Men 97 is the first, I don't even know how to call this, two-parters? Not two-parter, but like
two stories. Split.
But it's not like two stories. Well, it was two stories. It's like those shows when they have, the halfway point where it's 2 episodes.
Oh, like the olden days. Like, well, I don't know if cartoons do it now, but like Fairly Odd Parents, they'll have like the first 10 minutes be a one plot episode, and then the next 10 minutes is the second plot episode.
Correct. I don't know if there's an official term for that, but it's here. We have it here. Funny enough, I don't know if I'm a fan of it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan. No.
It was off-putting.
Very off-putting. It feels like they couldn't commit to one. Well, I mean, first of all, I feel like this episode already had an Achilles heel with it being a Jubilee episode.
Oh, wow. Here comes the Jubilee hate.
Here comes the Jubilee hate. And you know what? I was thinking like, okay, this is X-Men 97. They're going to hype up Jubilee in like cool ways, even though she was, no one liked Jubilee from. I didn't even watch X-Men 97 back then, and even I knew no one liked Jubilee.
Oh man, Jubilee doesn't get any love.
No one likes her. She's just annoying.
It's crazy too because I'm rewatching X-Men Evolution as we speak. She don't get much love there.
She's in that.
She is in that. People forget she is.
I didn't even know she was. What, is she like a central? Like, is she central? Like the way? No, she's not. Okay.
No, she's not. She's not. And then in X-Men Apocalypse, she had a bigger role that got cut essentially.
Wow. From the movie, Apocalypse.
The movie.
I did not know that. Yeah. I didn't even know she was in that movie either.
Her whole mall scene. She had a mall scene where they were introducing Nightcrawler to the mall, and it got cut.
Wow. But she's in the movie.
She's in the movie. She played by Lana Condor. Netflix's From All the Boys I Ever Loved. I don't watch those movies.
Was that a confession?
No, I've never seen one of those movies.
Oh. That's the title of the.
Oh, yes, that's the title. God, jeez. Yes, nobody really likes Jubilee.
No one does. I mean, even I knew that, but with 97, I thought, you know what? It's a fresh coat of paint on a series. They're giving love to all these OG characters, and maybe a breath of fresh air will give some love to Jubilee and make her, I don't know, one of the cooler mutants, or have one of the cooler storylines. That didn't happen here. I still didn't like it. I didn't like it. I felt like they didn't have a plot to justify an episode to focus on Jubilee, but they're like, no, we need a Jubilee episode to show people that we know how to write Jubilee now. And they like got like a third of the way there, and then they're like, damn it, we don't got enough story to fill out the rest of this Jubilee plot. Quick, throw in that Storm subplot. Throw that in the last half.
And I have my problems with the Storm plot too.
I have my problems with the Storm plot, but like my problems with the Storm plot mainly come from it existing in this episode. Like I feel like what the Storm plot did wrong is because it was a second half to this episode.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. You're right. Similarly, last week I was saying how last week could have been really 2 episodes. One episode
that would have been yeah.
Like the House of Horror,
right?
And then the next episode being the assault on Mr. Sinister's mansion, with Goblin Queen. But that episode seemed to work, and I was like, I'm glad nothing overstayed its welcome. Versus here, I think both these storylines could have been given their own episode. And in this episode, what we've given with these 11, 15-minute segments, they were rushed.
They were very rushed. Yeah. I feel like the gimmick of, because Jubilee, Jubilee,
birthday.
It's her birthday, her 18th birthday girl. And Magneto says, I'm the master of magnetism, no birthday.
No, okay. And funny enough, this is where I think they should have gone with the episode. Yes, Magneto's Jubilee's like, let's go to an arcade. What does the master of magnetism do? What is the master of magnetism doing seen in a arcade for a children's bar? Like, one, I wish they showed that line delivery of that. I think that would have been hilarious. And B, that's your thread. That's your thread right there. Magneto butting heads with Jubilee.
Right.
This quasi father-daughter relationship. Magneto has children who he has a piss poor relationship with. Jubilee is the youngest, and here this is the new leader of the X-Men. That should have been the through line right there. Her clashing heads and trying to relate and form this relationship with Magneto. I feel if you played off of that, and because there's another instance in this episode too when they're in the game that they could have played off of this, but they didn't.
Right.
Problem number one. That's my problem number one.
Yeah, no, they definitely had an interesting plot thread in the beginning where they could have had some gags, like you said. Like maybe I should have seen Magneto give off that delivery. I did not need to hear Jubilee give it because I'm like, well, I wish I would have heard it. I bet it would have been very funny, Jubilee seems to have liked it or disliked it, whatever. But so they decided to play Motendo in the room, and the Motendo sucks them in. Motendo being a play off of Nintendo, but it's very clearly designed to be a Sega Genesis, and the game inside the cartridge is actually the X-Men Genesis game that came out on that same system. But sure, let's throw a gag. Motendo. Everyone remembers Nintendo. But
no love for Sega Genesis.
No love. I mean, I don't even think there was an X-Men game on Nintendo. I could be wrong. But yeah,
don't quote me.
I know the Genesis X-Men game is considered like one of the better X-Men games to have come out in, video games in general. But either way, yeah, like you have this whole motif with like it being a video game and they get sucked in. You have these cool little bits with Jubilee, and I keep forgetting his name, Roberto. And they're doing like Sunspot. They're doing like side scroller beat 'em up stuff, and it's stylized like that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like what they're doing there, but they don't do enough, like with the idea of it being a video game. If you're gonna make me waste my time with Jubilee and it being her in a video game, go all in. Make the whole episode a video game. Like,
you know what it was giving at first?
What?
And who did it better as well? Captain Laserhawk. That is what it was giving.
Wow. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, very Captain Laserhawk vibes. Yeah.
And I said in my head the whole time, I was like, Captain Laserhawk did it better.
It
They
did.
really, like you said, leaned into the idea that they're in a video game. You got the side scroller, you got the over the top bits, you had the personalization of the responses. Captain Laserhawk 8 when it came to capturing the essence of a video game. Yeah, this one, like, you got my background and like that was cool. I was like, wow, yeah, that looks straight from, if there is an X-Men game, that looks like they just took it out.
There is an X-Men arcade game that is exactly like that.
Okay.
I think it's called X-Men. Well, I don't know what it is, but I know it's the X-Men arcade game. Because like Konami back in the day used to make a lot of beat 'em ups. They made the Simpsons beat 'em up game. They did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up game. And they did an X-Men game as well. I'm pretty sure it was Konami. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think I'm reading here. It's Konami. Yep.
It's Konami. There we go.
Beat 'em up. Yeah.
There we go. And they were all great. They were very, very well made beat 'em up. So that right there is a direct callback to the Konami X-Men game from way back then. But yeah, it's like they started to do that, like, you know, lean into the video game part, and probably drew inspiration from Captain Laserhawk to an extent. And I feel like halfway they're like, damn, this is hard. I don't think I want to do this anymore. and it shows in the episode. It's only for like 12 minutes, 10, 12 minutes, if even that. And that's it. Like, you know, Jubilee fights Magneto. Fight doesn't really last that long, or a game version of Magneto. And then what? She meets like a Data version of her, Data Sora. Oh no, I'm sorry, Data Jubilee.
Oh, wow, Data Sora, huh? Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a callback.
Sure. Yeah. No. I was like, I didn't buy this either. Like, why is there an older Jubilee who's not real? But
yeah, she's not real. I thought it was like gonna be like a time traveling thing. No, it's just one of the beta testers. That's
Mojo made a beta. He made a bunch of he always had Jubilee in mind for this, and so kind of sus
a little
weird.
bit.
Mojo's a weird dude.
Why Jubilee of all people?
Well,
why?
She's a gamer.
Does he know that?
I take it.
Does he know? Does he know that?
He's like a reality bending.
It's a little weird. I'm just saying.
I think he knows.
I think he could have went with Cyclops, Wolverine, just any of the other ones. I don't know. Just saying.
Mojo knew. I don't know, but I don't know. But it's not real. The Jubilee's not real. So I guess it loses points for me with that, because why does this Jubilee, who's not real, this is some grade A computer programming, because this Jubilee knows how to use Jubilee's powers better than Jubilee.
Right. No, yeah, it does.
She was making Jubilee cool.
Yeah, she was like skating around and throwing like she was skating around on like her firecracker abilities.
She was on Destructo Disc.
Destructo Disc, that's right.
I've never seen Jubilee do anything remotely that cool with her powers.
And you know what? I guarantee you, even despite having seen this, she's still not going to.
I need this to be the inspiration. Magneto was right. Time to run some drills. This is why Jubilee sucks. She's out here playing video games, not doing drills. And that's the through line. We could have had more with that. We could have had Jubilee go up to Magneto saying, I'm ready to learn more about what I can do.
You could have. And
but
it
nothing.
Failed.
Nothing. It fell flat.
It did. It really did.
Flat.
Wasn't a fan of it. I mean, and even then, like, she doesn't. What? They all team up to face off against Mojo, which he's a character from the original series, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, he appears in the original. He appears. Okay. In every X-Men animated iteration except for Evolution.
Oh,
he's the only thing
no wonder I don't remember him
appearing. Yeah, no, he does not appear in X-Men Evolution. No.
I mean, yeah, like they all and this is the thing, like when I got to the 8-minute mark and they were already fighting against Mojo, I'm like, wait a minute, this is the final guy, right?
Was that really at the 8-minute mark? Jeez.
It was something early to where when I was checking the time to see how much time was left of the episode, I was like, what's after this? After they defeat Mojo, are they gonna like get lost in the game further, or is there someone else pulling Mojo's strings? Like maybe that girl with the 4 arms, whatever, Spiral, is that her name?
Spiral, yeah.
Maybe she was gonna take control of Mojo, and then she was gonna be the true final villain, kind of like a video game. You know, you had the main boss who you thought was the villain, then the true boss comes out.
The classic video game twist.
Right, I thought that was gonna happen, but no, it didn't. It just ended. They all finished their game, and I don't know if this fell out of place, but Jubilee got some action at the end with Soldier Boy, Solar Boy,
Sunspot. Jeez Louise. Another thing that felt, can we just leave romances in the oven a little more to cook?
I didn't even think that they were romantic in any way. I thought it was like a platonic thing.
He said he was single in the first episode.
He did?
He did.
I don't remember that.
Yes, no, he definitely did. That's a budding romance from episode 1, but even so, I was just like, yeah, cool, they're kissing, but Jubilee going up to Magneto and being like, I want to learn how to make Destructo Disc. Now, I think I would have preferred that.
I felt like this came out of nowhere.
Well, also too, Mojo's an opportunity for all the X-Men to get in on the fun. So to see only Jubilee, who had these memories, that because they were living out her memories, Roberto has no agency here and no kind of tie-in to this. I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. God.
Talking about, did you think it was cool when they did the family? I don't know. It looked like something off of Naruto. They did like a giant Rasengan.
Oh, that was father-son Rasengan. That 100% was.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it because
I got those vibes. Yeah.
Perfect. I was like, this is giving Rasengan. This is giving father-son spirit bomb. I don't know. Which is not a thing.
No, that's not a thing. Jesus Christ, revoke your DDZ card.
I know it's not a thing, but it's big ball.
It was very Naruto x Boruto, because it's the same thing. They lift their hands up and they make like a giant Rasengan. Jubilees make a giant firecracker ball, and they throw it. I think, yeah, they throw it.
Okay, if you see it, I'm sure others see it too.
Right. It's a shame they didn't do more with it. That was it.
Yep, that was it.
That was all the fun that they had, because after that, they're like, all right, Jubilee episode over. Next.
And who we get next?
We get Storm and Forge.
And
I felt like the concept of this part of Storm and Forge's story is really good, but I feel like, oh my God, it just falls flat because of a lot of the rushed elements of it, due to it being a second part of this episode after Jubilees. Because I felt like a lot of these points would have hit a lot more home if, like when Storm is trying to get her powers back with Forge and she's crying, and then she decides to run away after slapping him, saying Baka, and then she, runs off on her own.
Is that what she said? She said Baka?
She said Baka, right. And she just runs away. And then this part of the episode felt like a mess. Conceptually, it should have hit home. And I feel like the rough outline of it probably was working, but it just didn't work. It did not work. What they probably should have done was just say the part 2, which is next week of this episode, they should have just made it 40 minutes.
Yeah,
just
honestly,
make it 40.
Yeah. Did they not think we don't care for just drama? Are we just action junkies that
It's got to be action. It's X-Men. You got to watch. You got to see someone throw a punch.
No, I feel and honestly, now that you say that, that has to be the reason why they did it like this.
Mhm.
And I don't like this. I don't like. When have you ever seen a 2-segment show have a part 2 in another segment in another episode?
Nothing.
Never. They
Never.
always, for the big episodes, they always did the 30-minute block.
Right.
You know?
Right. Oh yeah. The full 30 minutes. They took up the full 30 minutes. Yeah.
And not to mention, X-Men, the animated series, did not do 2-segment blocks.
Right. Its episode its single block would be one full storyline.
Why are they doing this here?
Yeah. This just did not work. I feel, oh God, man. It's such a shame because I loved episodes 1 through 3. And this one just felt like a very poor decision to, like they had a Jubilee subplot, but it didn't have enough meat on its bones. And then because of that, they're like, we don't want to throw away the Jubilee subplot. We have to keep it. And they're like, but what do we fill the rest of the block with? Throw in Storm and Forge. And it's like, what? Like, man, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more this episode aggravated me. And I think it aggravates me as much as it does because I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. This one just fell flat on its face. And I bet you the second part, maybe the part 2 to this next week, I'm probably going to like it. I'll probably really like it because it's probably just going to be focused on Storm and Forge the entire time. Maybe some X-Men will come in, but that's going to be the main plot, I feel. Like, I doubt we're going to see Mojo Jojo come in and, bring up the Motendo subplot again. I really doubt it. I think that plot is over. That's done. That is not getting a part 2 next week.
No. Obviously, Storm has to get a part 2, for sure. But I think it's similar to what you said when we were talking about Kong and Godzilla, how they don't trust us to be entertained by a silent film. They didn't trust us to just kind of get on board with, this actionless episode featuring Storm and her, her journey in her human world, her experiences as a non-power. The wind winds heed my command. The winds move this ancient sand. It was sad. It's dramatic. That's still entertaining. We don't need to be, again, action junkies like, here's Mojoverse. Here's fireworks. Here's this. I feel they just didn't trust us to, because again, I don't buy Forge saying I love you, Storm.
Oh, no, that was Force. Where did it come from?
This has been 2 days.
It's been I really wish you would have said that. Forge.
It's been 2 days.
It's been 2 days. Yes.
And she even said, don't you say it. After she said that, she should have said, don't you say it. It's been 2 days.
It would have worked. I think that probably would have saved the episode for me.
It was so weird here. Like, I was like, what has happened between you two in the last 2 days to make you say this?
Yeah, I mean, like, why are they living? Like, what did Forge sell Storm to make her go with him to God knows where? And like, I'm assuming they're staying at his house, like
they're at his place, yeah.
Right? So Storm very clearly trusts this person to a degree, and there's some bit of romance from Forge coming onto her, and I'm like, where is this? It's been all of 8 minutes of this part of the episode. Where is this love coming from?
This was not done right.
This was done. This was straight ass. This was straight ass.
Like, I think I honestly would have preferred 30 minutes of them falling in love.
Yep.
Like, but no.
This was weak sauce. And I mean, what the hell happened at the end? I'm like, what? Like, is someone on drugs in this episode? Is someone high? Is someone hallucinating? Storm runs out. She says, Baka, how dare you? And she runs off. It's been 2 days, Forge. Absolutely not. She's running off. And then she like teleports back into the home, and then the bat of despair is like, yeah, I feast on despair and agony. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Who is this? What's going on anymore?
I'm very lost. I
hated this, man. I hated this.
I don't even know if this has comic book origins. X-Men fans, come for us, please. But I'm unaware if there's origins to this. The adversary, I think, is what
the adversary. That's what did I call him?
Oh, I
despair.
Don't know.
I'm despair. That's what it was.
Well, I think he did say something like that, but yeah, no, I don't know who this is. I don't know the deal.
And I mean, it's fine that I don't know who he is. Like, it's just his introduction was just so
weird.
It feels weird. It feels forced because It all happened in the span of like 30 seconds. 30 seconds to a minute max. Storm's running away. All of a sudden, this bat of despair of I'm sorry, what was it?
The adversary.
Adversary. It's just
owl too, by the way.
The owl. I mean, right, the owl that flew by earlier. Ooh. It's just I don't know. It just comes out of nowhere. It's hugging up on Storm. She's like, get off me. And then she goes back into where Forge is. Forge also sees this weird nonsense going on. I hated this, man. I just hated this. I really did.
Yeah, no, it's just this was not a masterclass in writing at all.
It was not. It really wasn't.
No, a big step back. Yeah, I think I'll say this. As far as the writing goes, you really just kind of I need them to just stick to, you can have a B plot. That's okay. I think I would have been more engaged if they just went back and forth between these two stories.
Yeah, I think it would have worked a lot. I mean, maybe that could have worked, but they can't keep the same thing here where it's like the same, like Forge falling in love. Like if they kept the same scenes of Forge and Storm, but instead they split it up throughout the episode, it's still the same problem. I still hate it.
It's still right, but I think even then, even just by splitting it up, it gives the illusion that maybe time is passing.
Oh man,
between these moments,
it's just so hard.
Yeah, it's hard to root for this episode. Yeah, no, and goodness, I'm looking at the episode listing is out, so you can look it up.
No.
I don't think we're getting Motendo Part 2. We are getting, this is Life Death. That's the name of the Storm story. We are getting a fully dedicated Part 2 to this, which is good, I guess.
That's what I was saying earlier. I bet you I will like next week's episode. Just
if I told you it wasn't next week.
Oh, what, they're skipping?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's on break. Oh, okay, that's good.
No, it's not next week. It's the following episode that they're coming back to this. Weird move, weird flex.
I mean, it is weird. But sure, I guess. Hopefully next week's episode is good.
Yes, I needed to bounce back. This is a nice little step down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's really all I gotta say about it. It was a mess with the Jubilee bit. And the thing is, I see the potential in both. They didn't do enough with Jubilee with the video game motif and that thread that you're mentioning with Magneto, and maybe play with some of the other X-Men. Like, I don't know, like maybe, she fought against the game version of Magneto. how about her calling in like maybe some support from some of the other X-Men from that game, and maybe you have like some references about their game abilities from that game. It's clearly referencing X-Men Genesis. Why not just go all the way with it? Just have fun with it.
Or why not force Magneto and Jubilee into this game, since they're the ones bickering?
Oh, right. No, yeah, and it plays on that thread too, because now Magneto's getting pissed off because he's like, damn it, I, the master of magnetism, and sucked into this game, and oh man, I can't let anyone see me like this. And he has to play the game with Jubilee, and they both.
And he has to have fun.
He has to have fun. They both learn a lesson. Oh my God, did we write a better episode?
I think we wrote a better episode.
Wow.
I hate it when we do that.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I will give them this. There were moments during that final bit with Mojo. The animation was still doing good. I liked a lot. I rewatched it.
Yeah.
There were some really good action bits with like the older Jubilee that I could get behind, and the video game aesthetic was solid in those action moments. Like when things were getting destroyed, they turned back into like their cube space type formatting.
Oh, like a pixel.
Yeah, like a pixel. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool. I see you, X-Men. But no, this writing needs to step up, because, that there wasn't enough there. The Forge and Storm was rushed. It was super rushed. Take a step back, slow it down, and trust your audience. Again, I know you got to appeal to kids, but a kid's going to want to tune this out if you go from this super colorful bit to Storm's bit, but also your adult fans. I don't know. I feel like you can cater to both without undermining the other.
Right. No,
so this wasn't it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was not. It was a dud. I don't know what else to say about it.
I feel we're ending on such a low note.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think at least for me, I'm feeling that way just because I was singing the praise of these last 3 episodes, both for their writing and the animation and the dialogue. And it feels like all of that, except for the animation. Like you said, the animation was still very well done in this episode, but you can't just dangle like keys in front of me and expect me to lose my mind. You also got to have that writing in there. You got to have that dialogue. So yeah, no. Let's hope next week is better than this week's episode.
Whatever next week has in store, it's called Remember It. Whatever that means. Don't know if that's an allusion to a well-known X-Men story. Again, we are not comic book fans. Our
Speak for yourself.
Wow, okay. Go ahead and contradict what you told these folks last time. Sure. I'll stand on this hill alone. That's fine. But yeah, hey, I guess we're in it for the long run. So, hopefully this is the last dud. But, goodness, I guess that's it from us here at the Yonko table, talking episode 4 of X-Men 97. Be sure to check us out next week, and be sure to check out our other takes on the previous episodes of X-Men 97. For those who went and watched Godzilla X Kong, our review is out for that film as well, so check that out while you can. But of course, thank you for always supporting us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you for following us and supporting us on YouTube with DrJaceAttorney and the shorts and his streaming and whatnot. And of course, again, we are showing y'all that you can come correct us, please. We got our Discord in the link below. Please join the discourse there. All right, but without further ado, that's it from us here, the Yonko table. I am Grandmaster Who, fellow Yonko, DrJaceAttorney. Wind!